Well, the Knicks just handed Cleveland a slice of humble pie as they embarrass the Cavs 99-79 to take a 2-1 series lead in Game 3 tonight in Madison Square Garden. I'm not even in the mood to hit you with a let's ride. Just give me my fucking music. I'm gonna vent. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time for an all-new episode of the post-game podcast of the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Sacramento Kings. This is Let 'Em Know Kings! And welcome to episode 12 of Let 'Em Know Kings. This is the post-game podcast of the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Sacramento Kings. I am not going to waste any time. I'm just going to get right into it before I get into my rant because I have a lot of negative energy and a lot of anger that I need to get out on a certain team that has Donovan Mitchell on the roster, a certain team that wears wine and gold, supposedly wine and gold, the same team that has the defensive player of the year in Evan Mobley, the same team who has an accomplished head coach in JB Bickerstaff, who got absolutely destroyed by the New York Knicks tonight, 99-79, in the most embarrassing Cleveland playoff game that I have ever seen in my life as a Cavalier fan. But before I continue to rant on that, I'm your host, Skylar Weisberg. It is my honor and my privilege to be your host, despite the fact that Cleveland played like a bunch of bullshit. But nevertheless, you can find Let 'Em Know Kings, which is absolutely free and available across 8 great platforms, including Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, iHeartRadio, and podcasters.spotify.com/pod/show/CLESK. Again, you can find Let 'Em Know Kings on Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spotify, or anchor.fm/CLESK. You can download the free Spotify for Podcasters app on your iTunes or Google Play stores. And you can listen to the show on that app as well. Give the show a follow on the platforms if you could, please. Turn on your notifications so you know about the next episode, which drops on Sunday after the 2 Game 4s. There's going to be a really big episode there. If you could please rate and spread the word out to your friends about Let 'Em Know Kings, I would truly appreciate that so much. And thank you for tuning in to this show, even though the Cleveland Cavaliers took one of the most embarrassing losses that I've ever seen in my goddamn life. Before I even get into the Cleveland side of things, let me give the proper kudos to the New York Knicks. Let me give the kudos to the New York Knicks, their head coach, Tom Thibodeau, and their sold-out crowd of 19,812 at Madison Square Garden, who absolutely deserve all of the credit for bringing the energy and bringing the vibe in New York. I mean, it was louder than the Rocket Mortgage Field House. And that's coming from me, who lives right near New York City, who lives right near Madison Square Garden. I'm not even afraid to say that. To the Knicks fans and to the New York Knicks, especially, kudos to you. And Tom Thibodeau, you deserve the kudos as well for out-coaching the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now that that's out the way, let's talk about this embarrassing bullshit game. First and foremost, no other team has been held this season under 80 points. The Cleveland Cavaliers are the first team this season to be held under 80 points. They had the worst point output in all 4 quarters. The second lowest this season for them was an 81-point game for them. Ironically enough, it was against this same New York team. I believe the final score in the regular season if I can pull it up real quick, was 92-81. That was back in December 4th. So now, a few months later, you come back to New York and you lay the biggest fucking egg that I have ever seen in my life. First and foremost, for both teams, it was a really slow start in the first quarter. I mean, both teams couldn't hit anything to start the game. Maybe it was jitters. Maybe it was playoff jitters because of the energy in Madison Square Garden. I get all of that. So I'm going to give both teams a little bit of leeway there. After the first quarter, the Knicks got it going. Listen to this stat that I just calculated just minutes prior recording to this show. Since the first quarter, the New York Knicks outscored the Cleveland Cavaliers for the entire game 82-62. Let me repeat that stat one more time. Since the 17-17 push at the end of the first quarter, the New York Knicks outscored the Cleveland Cavaliers 82-62. That is a 20-point difference through 3 quarters that the New York Knicks completely dominated. And I'm not just talking about one person. The entire team of the New York Knicks dominated. I mean, I'm just going to get this out of the way because I need to vent and to the Cleveland Cavalier bench. Let's take a look at the numbers. Jalen Brunson and R.J. Barrett combined for 40 points tonight. Jalen Brunson, who absolutely cooked Cleveland again, dropped 21 points. He also grabbed 4 rebounds. He also had 6 assists and 2 steals. R.J. Barrett, that I mentioned earlier, had 19 points. He grabbed 8 rebounds, 3 assists. He also had 2 turnovers. Julius Randle, he didn't have his best game, but he had 11 points and 8 rebounds. That's pretty respectable. Jeffries off the bench had 13 points. Emmanuel quickly off the bench dropped 11 points. It was a complete team effort for the New York Knicks. And there's something about the energy in New York that the Cleveland Cavaliers did not meet the moment. I think the New York Knicks came prepared. The New York Knicks were ready to play the game, and it showed by the way they locked in after the first quarter, or as they shot 47%. As they shot 47% from the field tonight. That is the highest percentage that I've ever seen out of any team this season. Both teams struggled at the free throw line. Yes, but the Knicks won the rebounding battle, 45-42, including 11 offensive boards. The steals were 14-7 in favor of New York, 21 assists in favor of New York compared to Cleveland's 16. The points in the paint were 56-48 in favor of New York, but another stat was pretty telling. 14 turnovers for Cleveland. They only gave up 8 points allowed of those turnovers. The Cavaliers turned over the ball 21 fucking times and gave up 28 off the turnovers. That's not fucking good enough. Now, I mentioned this earlier in a prior show about the Sacramento Kings, who dropped Game 3 to the Golden State Warriors, 114-97, if I remember correctly. At least Sacramento showed fight. Yeah, they played their worst game, but at least they fought. They fought against the reigning defending undisputed NBA champions. The Cleveland Cavaliers, you guys pulled out the worst fucking effort that I've ever seen in my life. That is fucking terrible. Only 2 guys from Cleveland tonight showed up. Only 2 guys locked in. Donovan Mitchell, who led us with 22 points, who also grabbed 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals. And Karis LeVert, who started instead of Isaac Okoro. Thank God that he did, because Isaac Okoro was absolute bullshit. He dropped 17 points. He grabbed 4 rebounds and 3 assists. Evan Mobley had 10. He grabbed 10 rebounds. He also had a double-double. So Evan Mobley, that wasn't to blame. Jared Allen was absolute bullshit. Darius Garland dropped 10 points. Look, I said this before. It was going to take a team effort. Once again, it was the Donovan Mitchell show. It was the Donovan Mitchell show because Donovan Mitchell is the only Cleveland Cavalier on this team that fucking gets it. Donovan Mitchell is the only player that understands what it's like to play in playoff basketball. Now, I get it. It's for most of these guys, it's the first time in the NBA playoffs. I get all of that. I get that some guys need time to adjust, but you need to understand, how the fuck can you score under 80 points for only the first time this season? And also the first time the Cavs have lost by 20 plus points this season. Honestly, you couldn't pick a worser game or a bad night to play like shit. This isn't the regular season anymore, guys. This isn't the regular season. It's game 3 of the NBA playoffs. If this was game 7, we would be eliminated right now. If this was game 4, 5, 6, or 7, we would be eliminated right now. And you know who's laughing in the background right now? LeBron James. LeBron James in Los Angeles is looking at us right now, and he's saying, like, I told y'all motherfuckers, you can't win without me. I told y'all without me, you're nothing. Well, guess what? You just proved to LeBron James that you ain't shit. And the New York Knicks fans who chanted Cleveland sucks tonight, they had absolutely all the right in the world to chant Cleveland sucks because we played sucky tonight. We had the worst fucking effort that I've ever seen in my life. It's like the Golden State game in the regular season. You came out soft and disrespectful. You couldn't hit any shot. Conceivably, the lid was under the basket. And Cleveland, you got what you deserved. You got what you deserved tonight, and that is a 20-point ass whooping. A 20-point ass whooping to a team that looked better than you. That looked better than you from minute 1. I don't know what the Cleveland Cavaliers did during the warm-up. I didn't know what they did prior to the game. But it wasn't locking in. It wasn't staying focused. It wasn't having the mentality of the Cleveland Cavaliers. You came out with a fat cat complacent mentality like J.B. Bickerstaff talked about in the beginning of the year when we lost 5 straight to teams like Milwaukee, teams like Sacramento, teams like Golden State, teams like Minnesota. You come out in game 4 on Sunday with that kind of mentality, we're losing game 5 in Cleveland. I'm telling you right now, if we don't come out in game 4 on Sunday and don't respond and don't bounce back like you did in game 2, we're done. We're done. And we're going to have to owe LeBron James a big apology because we would prove to LeBron James that you guys cannot win without him. Donovan Mitchell, this is all on your shoulders, bro. You are the leader of this team. You are the glue of this team. Get this fucking Cavaliers team together and come to practice tomorrow locked in because New York has all the momentum right now. New York has all the momentum right now. You could argue they had all the momentum since game 1, who stole game 1 on our home floor. So here's the situation, Cleveland. It's a must-win for game 4, or your season will be on the line come game 5 in Cleveland. So you have 2 choices. One, you can bounce back against the New York Knicks on Sunday and prove that you are the number 1 defense in the NBA and you can establish your game in the paint like you've done all year. Or 2, you can come out in game 4 and show the same fucking effort that you did tonight. And then what New York's going to do is they are going to come to Cleveland all confident, and we're going to become desperate. Because, God damn it, we're the number one defense in the NBA, mind you. Number one defense. We clearly didn't play like it. We clearly didn't play like it. We clearly didn't play like the number one defense in the NBA tonight when we shot only 38% from the field, 7 for 33 from three-point range. You guys only knocked down 7 threes. You guys didn't run any offense. There was like no flow to the fucking offense. Cleveland did whatever the hell they want. They didn't even listen to the coaches. They just did whatever the fuck they want. And guess what? The Knicks owned you for that. Cleveland got what they deserved tonight. All credit to the New York Knicks. All I'm going to say is, Cleveland, you better bounce back in Game 4. You better bounce back in Game 4 on Sunday, because if we don't, if we don't bounce back in Game 4, I'm going to lose my mind. I already lost half of my mind in this episode. Don't make me lose my mind again. Just win Game 4, goddammit. Win Game 4 on Sunday. Whew. That felt good to get all my ranting out. That being said, though, that's going to do it for today's episode of Let 'Em Know Kings. You can find this show on Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor.fm/CLESK, or download the Spotify for Podcasters app on your iTunes or Google Play stores. Please give the show a follow on the platforms. Turn on your notifications so you know about the next episode, which drops on Sunday. I won't be able to watch games 4 of the Cavs and the Kings live because I might be going somewhere for the day. I'm recording those games. I will be watching them when I get home, and then I'm going to record my recap episode after that. Please rate and spread the word out to your friends about the show. I'm Skylar Weisberg, and until next time, no matter where you go, win or lose, be prepared to let them know. I'll be back Sunday for the Game 4 for the Cavs and the Kings. Hopefully, 2 big crucial wins. Until then, peace out, y'all.